introduce your name, year, course, and university?
So my name is Joe De Bergen. My year is I'm in third year. Course is television production. Was that everything?
And university.
I'm at Bournemouth University.
Could you tell us your hometown?
So my hometown's from Reading. From a small part of Reading. Just moved actually, Spencer's Wood, but in Reading.
Could you remind us of the course you're currently taking at university?
Say that again, sorry?
Could you remind us of the course you're currently taking at university?
Yeah, so that's television production. So essentially, it's just like, it's the practical hands-on stuff of TV. It's the stuff that you actually want to get. It's not like some media courses where you just sit there and write about films. It's basically hands-on, cameras, editing, things like that. It's good.
Why did you choose your course?
So I chose my course because for me, I had a media project that was it was in sixth form, and we had to basically it was quite a weird one. We had to do like trailers and that, and we made one. I'd spent basically 4 or 5 months with my mate, just sat there. We were just making this trailer. I just became obsessed with it. It became like my life, and it got kind of to the point where I thought this is definitely what I want to do. So had a look at it, and I thought creative side. I'm personally more creative than academic, I would say, so it just seemed like a no-brainer. Bournemouth was the one.
So you're now in your third year of your course. What have you thought of your course so far?
Good. Pre-COVID. Obviously, that's not the fault of the university, but I have been struggling since. The online learning for me, I don't think it works for me personally. But my course in general, I thought has been brilliant. It's very hands-on, very challenging at sometimes because there's long days, but they're worth it at the end. The rewards are definitely worth it.
Did you have a placement year in your course?
That's the main thing. We did have one, but because of the situation right now, we had to get it taken away, which is a bit frustrating. But for my course particularly, a placement year is really crucial normally because you can get your foot in the door. You can go working with production companies, etc. So I did really struggle with that, but they gave us the option to, but it wasn't compulsory anymore.
Can you tell us, did you come from a sixth form or college background?
So I came from a sixth form background. It was linked with my secondary school. It was Forest School in Reading, and straight from there. Can
you tell us the subjects you studied at sixth form?
Yeah, so I studied drama, drama, media, English language, and I tried to do economics. I tried to study that, but that didn't end out too well. I actually had to drop that at AS level. They were the four, and I got, I think it was an A, I got ABB, I think, in the end.
Did any of these subjects help you with your course?
Media really helped, just because it's the same world, it's the same, it's the exact same kind of job line. I would say drama also helped. Drama's relevant in my course because it gives you those kind of confidence, those kind of social skills to work with people, which is really what you need if you want to get into TV.
And what do you think the best A-levels / subjects are for your course?
Media, definitely, as I said. I know some places do film. Film's probably better than media because you're actually analysing, like mood and text, not just like advertising campaigns, which was quite boring, I found, in media. That's what I'd say. Definitely media. Yeah, that's the one, media film.
Could you remind us of the university you're currently studying at?
So I'm studying at Bournemouth University. It's my third year.
If we go into the best and worst things about studying at Bournemouth University, starting off with the worst.
Worst things. Probably your bank account getting destroyed because you're going out every week, because there's a lot of... The nightlife is good when we could. It was really decent. The worst thing... I guess that's not the university in its sense, but it's a good thing and a bad thing. I'll put it in both because I spent a lot of nights out my first year just going out, which was brilliant, but at the start of the second year I should have switched on. Really, but yeah, the club's good there. Another thing about university I like Bournemouth is the campus. It's really good because before there's a bar called Dylan's. We literally just like sitting there and just stay there for ages.
Could you tell us what Dylan's is? Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so Dylan's is like trying to describe. It's like a student bar. and it does a decent breakfast. I've got to say, if you're hanging, it does actually really help. Yeah, so we just we just sit there in the middle between lectures. It's quite nice just to just chill out really.
Is it
You don't want to go
close
home.
to Bournemouth?
It's on campus, so it's actually an on campus bar. Literally, go up the stairs in the main building. If anyone's ever been to Bournemouth, you'll see it. It's Pool House. Yeah, that's what I used to do. I think that's one of the good aspects of it. There's a lot of things to do kind of on campus. There's a lot of buildings, a lot of places to go to. There's the Fusion building. It's quite nice and modern. It's got a nice cafe when that's open. The eating area, should I say. Yeah, there's a lot of different places just to chill at Bournemouth, which is what I quite like because I find I can't do work at home. And I think that when I go into uni, when we're allowed to, it's so much easier because there's just a lot of space to use, really.
And is there anything positive or negative you have to say about studying at Bournemouth University?
Sort of a negative, I'd probably say, well, for the uni, I find it's almost like it's a very social university, and I think it is helpful in the sense of obviously if you like that, but sometimes I find it's quite a weird place. It's like I don't know what the word is. Everyone seems to know everyone, and it seems like it's just like
it's small town kind of vibe.
Yeah. So sometimes you'll be dragged into it going out because something will be going on. There's always something going on, which I guess, like I said earlier, is a good thing and a bad thing. Good thing about something at Bournemouth, just the lifestyle. Really, the lifestyle's brilliant. I think that's what it is. And I've got to say, the lecturers for me have been really helpful. But that's just my specific course. They're lovely. So yeah.
Okay. If we now go into your accommodation, where did you stay in your first year?
I was at Cranborne House. I think.
And what was it like living at Cranborne House?
I'll be honest. I enjoyed it for what it was, but I wouldn't go there. I wouldn't tell anyone to go there. I think Dorchester. There's ones at Dorchester. I think there's a few new ones, but Cranborne's the oldest one. I think it's 21 years old.
Is there a reason why?
It's not small living spaces isn't ideal. I don't like. We had the segregation where we had the kitchen and the living room were just different. Whereas a lot of uni accommodations, I know they have like the islands or kitchens in their living rooms. It just made things awkward when you had to have people around. Yeah, that wasn't ideal. I think the problem with Cranborne was as well. It was the fact of you had a single bed. Most of the things, if you wanted to pay for a double bed, you had to pay a lot more, which is an addition. But that's the one thing I missed. I missed a double bed.
If we had a spectrum of party house to study house, where would Cranborne kind of be on this spectrum?
Very near towards party house. That's actually one reason why I was told. I don't know what it is now, but I was told that Cranborne's a party house. So that's kind of why I thought I'll go there. First year, I guess you can enjoy it, and it very much is. So there's a lot going on at Cranborne. But then it's quite a weird thing because it did actually happen. I'd often start the night in Cranborne, and then end it in other places because I think Cranborne I wasn't very popular with people. I think small living spaces did really limit the stuff you could do at Cranborne, to be fair.
Okay. So where did you stay in your second year?
Second year, I was in just a house along Bingham Road in Winton. So it was just. Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, what was it like going from Cranborne to a house?
Much better for me. It felt like home. It felt natural. I think the problem with some of the uni accommodations, especially Cranborne, for me, it can feel a bit like, I don't know what the word is. Maybe like it felt like, this is quite weird. But it felt like plastic. It felt like the whole thing was just fake. It didn't feel like a home, if you see what I mean. Didn't even feel like it couldn't even say it felt like a hotel because it just didn't feel. You didn't really feel like
It's a very different experience.
There. Yeah, very different. Well, as I feel living in a house, you can feel home. You have a lot more independence as well because in a sense of. You at Cranborne, you often have the security guards. I don't know what they're called, sitting in the bottom of the thing. And if you're being too loud, they come complain. Obviously, you have to deal with neighbours instead if you're being loud. But you just be more respectful because you're an actual neighbourhood instead of a uni accommodation. Oh, I seem to have lost you. Oh. Cool. I was going to say.
So,
No worries, mate.
what advice would you give to students who are going from an accommodation or going right into a house?
Starting in accommodation, as in the like Cranborne, I would say try and get on with your house, because at the end of the day, you don't choose them, you're there. And I was lucky because I found so many good friends. Some of my closest mates now. I still live with them now as well. Some of them, it's brilliant because it can set you up and you can enjoy your uni experience. Like, you don't know what you do without them. But definitely. Second is try and find somewhere that's near to uni, because you're going to be walking there obviously a lot. Somewhere that's maybe easily accessible for like food and shopping. So because I was near Lidl, we could just walk there, and it was really easy. You've got to kind of be real about it, and you basically got to think, would I want to live here if I wasn't at uni? And what are the lifestyle choices? Because at the end of the day, university is not just the academic side; it's the whole living side, which is people kind of forget. So,
okay. And now in your final year, are you, obviously with COVID, are you at home or are you still in a housing?
So I'm in this house. I've been in this house for a while. Because I've got a few. I've got my grandparents actually live with us at the moment, so they're vulnerable. Yeah, I'm here, and it's weird because you can't really do anything, but it does help you focus on uni, I guess.
Okay, if we now go into the Bournemouth area, could you tell us about the Bournemouth nightlife, more specifically, the Bournemouth area, more specifically the nightlife? What is the club for you?
The club, that's hard. That's really hard. I would probably say you're looking at. There's three for me. There's Cameo, which is the one that I think a lot of people know about. It's got loads of different rooms. Everyone always hypes that up. There's Old Fire Station, which I'm a big fan of. Very cheap. And then there's there's Halo. I'll go for Halo for me. Not for me. The music's not my taste. It's very pop centric, I find. It's one room. It's in a church bay. It's in like a church. It is good. When you first get there, but the kind of like the uniqueness of it just kind of rubs off after your first time for me. It's expensive as well. Like, you need to get a big loan if you want to go there. Then where else would I say? Yeah, Cameo's good. Good night. Loads of different rooms. Got R&B room downstairs, basement for me. It's nice. You got a cheese room if you like that. And then Fire Station's just cheap. It's just £3 entry and you're in, and that's my favourite one, to be fair.
Could you describe the nightlife in Bournemouth for students?
Yeah, so it's kind of like, it's manic. Busy is the main thing, but there's always a club to go to. If you whatever your music you like, there's always somewhere to go. I'd say the nightlife, in terms of clubbing, it's very. I think so. There's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. There's theme nights, so you're not going to be short of anything. I'll just say hectic. About to say one word, really, hectic. A lot of stuff which is always good. There's always good atmosphere in Bournemouth. I find that once you've basically had your night out, you'll be walking back up. There's this massive strip of chicken shops, things like that. You'll be walking up, and you're just loving life because everyone's just quite friendly. And you just go to the amount of chicken shop I've been to, you can go to any one. And it's decent. It's a nice, it's a good vibe. I forgot to mention Revolution as well. There's Toast Tuesdays, and that's a good night out.
If we now go into the shops in Bournemouth, so this is more like living lifestyle shops. So is it more local or is it more chain shops?
So I'm in Winton, and there's a lot of. That's probably where you'll live second year if you're a student coming to Bournemouth, because it's where everyone goes. So like in Winton, there's a lot of local kind of stuff, like independent shops. There's things like G&T's, which is quite nice. That's just anything in there. If you want party stuff or if you want any stuff for your house, it's nice. A few photo shops and their camera shops, which is good. Been to. There is still the chains like Monopoly there as well. There's like Waitrose, Lidl. I think there's like Boots, things like that. So if you're living in Winton, which will probably be second year, there's a mix. But then when you go into the town, which is nearer to the accommodation of the first years, and it's very chain based. It's just like any town centre. It's just like a high street. So It's a good high street. It's all right.
And now if we go into the food/restaurants, again, is it more chain or is it more local?
So it's kind of chain based. There's a lot of things, the standard Wagamamas, Seven Bone, TGI. There's the can't remember what it's called, but there's a whole section, and essentially it's I think maybe called the BH2, I think, and it's just basically where there's like a collection of shops, so
Like a
restaurants.
strip.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So like a centre. So there's things like Nando's there. There's some nice steakhouses. There's I think maybe Frankie Ben's or something along those lines. But yeah, there's a lot of chain stuff. So literally, if you want anything, you can just go into town and buy your accommodation. It's about a 10-minute walk in first year.
Is there anything else you think students need to know about the Bournemouth area?
I think what do they need to know?
Maybe anyone curious about the beach?
Yeah, I mean, the beach is something it is an attraction, I will say that 100%. But I do think a lot of people maybe place their whole judgment on Bournemouth because of the beach, which isn't what you should do. Because, I mean, I found myself, I would say, in first year especially, didn't go as much as I thought I would. I really thought, you'd go a lot. Obviously, it's dependent on the weather, but you just end up finding there's different things to do. And when it's on your doorstep, it's not as big of an attraction because the gimmick kind of goes away. I would say just don't rely on the beach being your main reason because it's just not going to help. Look at the actual university, but yeah, just know about the beach, the lifestyle. Gets really busy on a hot day, so get there early. That's it really.
What general advice would you give to students about to study at university?
Very not challenging. That's the wrong word. Different to what you're used to, because I feel like you're spoon-fed in sixth form secondary school. Independent. It's very. You've got to go off your own back. I think they do kind of throw you in the deep end, as we said earlier, because it's more about yourself and what you want to learn. I'm in my third year now. I've just done a dissertation, literally basically finished writing it this week, and that taught me that you can learn so much just by reading and just by doing your own research. And that sounds cheesy and it sounds ridiculous. I don't think I'll ever hear myself say that, but you really can. It's like very independent, and that's the thing. If you go to uni, I would say you've got to be comfortable with having times where you don't know what you're doing. You'll be out of your depth. You'll be worried, but at the end of the day, that's why you come to uni, to kind of challenge yourself. So yeah, I think the learning at uni, be ready for it, be prepared, because it is. I'm not saying it's hard, it's just different. And once you've adapted to it, third year, second year, you're loving life. But you may find those first few months just slightly different to what you're used to. But it's brilliant, I think. And once you get used to it, you can just go and you can do this learning outside of uni as well if you want to.
What advice would you give to students about to study at Bournemouth University?
So at Bournemouth University, what advice would I give? For me, it's got a lot of good facilities, Bournemouth. You've got to utilise the facilities that are there. Just make sure you don't waste the opportunity. When we're back to normal life without COVID, obviously, but just make sure you utilise the labs, whatever it is, the studios, the lecture, the library. The library's massive. Just utilise what you've got there, because that's what you're paying for. Even if it's something like the gym, they've got a good gym there. Just make sure you utilise it, because at the end of the day, that's why you're here, and you probably want to get it again. So.
What advice would you give to students about to study your course at university?
So, studying my course, television production, I would say have an interest in TV, definitely, because if you don't have an interest, there's practically no point in obviously in attending, because you've got to be passionate for it, because at the end of the day, with my course, it is very time consuming. You can spend days in the studio 9 to 5, and it's fun, because you're being active, but you've got to be ready to actually work. What other advice? You've got to be very good at getting on with people. Social skills are key. Just be likable. Just be yourself, because I think people just like genuine people who work in TV. People who are just honest. People, if you don't know something, just be ready to learn, because at the end of the day, half the stuff I've learned from Bournemouth, you learn on a random day you didn't expect it, and it just happens. So just be ready and on your toes.
Okay. So you chose going to university over an apprenticeship / going right into work. What path you to make this choice?
At the time, I chose a university degree over apprenticeship, probably because I felt pressured. To be fair, I don't know if that was subconscious or conscious, but you do feel the pressure from your teachers. You feel the way, you know, every assembly going, oh, you need to just get it on, and they do hammer it home from year 12. And I think that's probably why I chose it. But then also, a slight part of me thinks that I chose it because, you know, it's an accomplishment, it's an achievement. Going to university is a big thing. And once you do it, and once you've been there, well, I'm not finished yet, but I'm getting towards that stage. And once you've completed it, I'd imagine it's something that's really rewarding. And I feel like that is something not many people in my family personally can say up into university. So it's a real big achievement. Not that an apprenticeship isn't an achievement, it's just a different type, you know.
Could you tell us more about your LinkedIn profile?
Yeah, so my LinkedIn profile, I'm Joe De Bergen, as I said, and I'm at the moment just trying to grow it out because leaving university in the television industry, you really need to basically own the social skills, especially now because it's online. So my LinkedIn profile essentially is just me trying to grow myself and grow my own persona, my own identity, trying to be that likable person, trying to be that person who shows I've got skills, you know, interested in TV, because that's what I am. I just want to show that to other people. And that's another thing. LinkedIn is really crucial for students, just to get yourself known out there and on the online world. And for me, myself, I've got a lot of things going up there regularly. Well, we'll be starting to after I finish dissertation. Just in my own work, just done a lot of filming over the last year remotely, things I've edited, etc. So just some of the projects I'm working on, some of the maybe running jobs I've been doing. It's a place for me to promote myself as an individual who's interested in TV and wants to, you know, seek those new opportunities.
Okay. At this point, I let what I like to call a free-for-all, where I let students say what they want about what they like. You can give advice, you can say something smart, you can say something dumb. Literally, the floor is yours.
Okay, it was not going to be smart. Well, it could be. I think it's more on the dumb side. But what I would say about university and Bournemouth in general is the fact that you just enjoy it, because I know it sounds, you know, little violins can start playing, but at the end of the day, especially now, you don't know what could happen. You know, COVID has changed everything. It's changed half of my university life, and I'm sure a lot of other people. To just enjoy it, because it could just go really. It could just, and I think once you don't have that social side of university, it then does become a sort of, not a drag, because that's not what it is, but it just becomes, you know, you lose that some of the fun elements because you can't do anything. So just enjoy it, you know, just be a student, basically. Just be a student and live that life. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'm plugged in.
Amazing. Thank you.